Here for another episode of Poetry and Prompts. I'm going back to this book. I used it several weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, but it's called How to Love the World, Poems of Gratitude and Hope. So I hope that you'll appreciate this book and these readings as much as I do. I'm going to go right into it, right from the get-go, because I want everyone, whether you're live or on the replay, to get the same experience. If you are on the replay, I would ask that you pretend like you are, I will pretend that you are live. And I want to make sure that I'm showing up live, because all of a sudden I get panicked sometimes if I'm not showing up, because that happened one time before. And I just want to make sure I don't see anybody here. I'm like, oh my goodness. I just want to make sure that anyway, I tell you what, we'll read one poem and then we'll go and make sure that I'm actually live. So the first poem is called The Word by Tony Hoagland. The Word. Down near the bottom of the crossed out list of things you have to do today, between green thread and broccoli, you find that you have penciled sunlight. Resting on the page, the word is beautiful. It touches you as if you had a friend and sunlight were a present he had sent from someplace distant as this morning, to cheer you up and to remind you that among your duties, pleasure is a thing that also needs accomplishing. Do you remember that time and light are kinds of love, and love is no less practical than a coffee grinder? Hello, I'm so glad you're here. Love is no less practical than a coffee grinder or a safe spare tire. Tomorrow you can be utterly without a clue, but today you get a telegram from the heart in exile, proclaiming that the kingdom still exists, the king and queen alive, still speaking to their children, to anyone among them who can find the time to sit out in the sun and listen. Hi, Kay and Ro, how are you? Good to see you. You know what the thing is about lives, and I'm far away, so I can't. I really am leaning on my my moderators because I can't reach. I left my usual tool in the car because I was out recording today, so I'm from a distance. But one of the things I just want to say is that I can sit here and talk to myself for hours on end, because the replay viewer will come along and they deserve the same as all the live viewers. So that's why I sit here and I talk to people, or I talk to the camera. So I'd like to say welcome to those of you who are live. I appreciate your presence here. That poem was a wonderful poem about sunlight, called The Word Sunlight on a To-Do List. Now, I don't know what, if you have any thoughts or unusual words or things in your to-do list, I would love to know. Hi, Judith, it's good to see you. Hi, Mac Movement, how are you? I'm glad that you're here today. So I have a whole list of poems that we share. So my question for all of you is, do you have any strange things on your to-do list? Like this person had sunlight on their to-do list. And if you do, wouldn't it be interesting if we all wrote a poem about something on our to-do list? I think that would be fun, but again, I'm a poet, so I find that fun. So good to see all of you. I'm really having a great day. I have a couple things I want to let you know while we're here. One is that, as you know, some of you who've known me for a while, is that I'm going on a road trip soon across the country from New Jersey to California. And I am trying to name that road trip. So on my video that's being released tomorrow, you'll be asked which of these titles for this drive, what should I call it? You know, I'll be making a playlist and I'll be making the drive, I'll be taking the road trip, and I would love to name it something that people can enjoy. And I just want to be able to call it something. I want to name it. Yeah, it will be a great adventure. It will be a really great adventure. I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited on so many levels. Okay, so I'm going to read the next poem. Are you all ready? I'm not going on Route 80 this time. No, Route 80 is like the northern or kind of the central northern route. I'm going a southern route. So I'm taking several different highways. I'm going through numerous great states. We'll spend most of my road trip time in the state of Texas, because Texas is huge. And I have people to visit in Texas, so I'm very excited about that. The only time I've been to Texas is on an airplane, and I've been to Houston and Dallas on an airplane, doesn't really count. And then I drove on Route 40 a couple times through Amarillo, but you really don't get to see much of Texas there. Okay, so I'm going to read the poem called Tomorrow. Tomorrow. I really appreciate if you've liked the video, and if you want to say any comments, fine. If you don't want to say comments, you just want to listen, that's great too. But if you say a comment, I know that you're here. I know that you have been here. So I really love seeing who's here. And if you don't want to say you're here, that's fine too. We run a pretty calm ship around here. So here we go. Tomorrow. There will be sun, scalloped by clouds, ushered in by a waterfall of bird song. It will be a temperate 75, low humidity. For 24 hours, all politicians will be silent. Reality programs will vanish from TV, replaced by the snow that used to decorate our screens when reception wasn't working. Soldiers will toss their weapons in the grass. The oceans will stop their inexorable rise. No one will have to sit on a committee. When twilight falls, the aurora borealis will cut off cell phones, scramble the internet. We'll play flashlight tag, hide and seek, decorate our hair with fireflies, spin until we're dizzy, collapse on the dew-decked lawn and look up, perhaps for the first time, to read the long lines of cold code written in the sky. That's a nice dream, written by Barbara Crooker. Barbara Crooker. For those of you who have, hello, so good to see you all. For those of you who live like I do right now in the Northeast, in California, where they're describing, at first when I was reading this, I'm like, oh, they're describing parts of California, even this time of year, like Los Angeles and San Diego. Where I went to high school in Dana Point, California, it was always perfect temperatures. And, you know, it was beach thing. I was a beach chick when I was younger. I know it's shocking. Let's see if I can read the comments. That's one problem about being far away. Let's see. Oh, hey, is that Dave? Is that Dave over there? It's good to see you, Dave. Oh, thank you. See, I can see the white. It's late in the UK where Dave is. But the one thing that they don't have in California is they don't have fireflies. And fireflies need they need like the trees, leaves. And I finally realized why the woods, behind the house where I live, there's woods. And that's where I'll see the fireflies most often, because the leaves don't get raked up. They stay there and they decompose, and the fireflies need that. So that made me kind of excited. Okay. We are going to go to, I said start on page 117. Did I? Yes, I did. All right. So this one I think is really fun. It's called Compost Happens. Compost Happens, which I find very funny, just the title. So for those of you who are having a not great day, just remember, compost happens. Nature teaches nothing is lost. It's transmuted. Spread between rows of beans, last year's rusty leaves tamp down weeds. Coffee grounds and banana peels foster rose blooms. Breadcrumbs scattered for birds become song. Leftovers offered to chickens come back as eggs, yolks sunrise orange. Broccoli stems and bruised apples fed to cows return as milk steaming in the pail, as patties steaming in the pasture. Surely our shame and sorrow also return, composted by years into something generative as wisdom. Love that. Love that. Hello, traveling friends. I hope we're all having a fantastic day too. Okay, Max says I guess technically I do have some poems for my shorts. I forgot a poem doesn't have to rhyme. No, poems don't have to rhyme. Most of these poems are free verse, which are not rhyming. Rhyming poems are often called metrical verse, so that's the difference. Yes, it was good and deep. The compost happens. I need to remember that. Okay, we're going to move into some gratitude poems. I do a gratitude and intention live stream on Mondays at noon. So if you're a gratitude person, as I am, Um, so there's this book is great because not only does it have poems, it also has just little ideas for you as a creative. Dave, you could do this as a painter too. It says, the next time a sudden feeling of appreciation stuns you, take the time to write out your gratitude list as soon as possible. When you pay attention, what specific sensory details about this grateful moment stand out to you as worthy of praise? So what I was thinking with Dave, who's a painter, there's Dave, he just commented. Well, you can, okay, so, I wish I could remember the quote. There's a quote from Picasso about poetry being like words painted, like painted words. I'll look it up and I'll share it somewhere. But what I was thinking was with a gratitude list and with paintings, if you could actually paint your gratitude, like the first poem talking about sunlight, or even that poem about compost happening. Yeah, there says, Judith says you can paint poem. Yeah, I agree. So here's a poem called Essential Gratitude. Sometimes it just stuns you like an arrow flung from some angel's wing. Sometimes it hastily scribbles a list in the air. Black coffee, thick new books, your pillow's cool underside, the quirky family you married into. It is content with so little, really. Even the ink of your pen along the watery lines of your dime store notebook could be a swiftly moving prayer. I really like that one. I'm going to read it again. Yeah, you can write both. I've been known to write both rhyming and unrhyming poems. One of my most beloved poems is a rhyming poem called Now Begin. I read it once in one of these broadcasts, one of these live streams. And one of my poems, it's on a greeting card. By the way, if you're a poet, greeting card companies may pick up your work without telling you. That's what happened to me. Somebody said to me, they saw one of my greeting cards in the store. And I said, what do you mean one of my greeting cards? Because somebody had said, hey, there's a great poem. Let's put it in a greeting card. Some of my work that's been on greeting cards, I actually gave my permission for that. So that's kind of fun. One of my short poems was in a Christmas card a few years ago, and I really liked that, thinking that people were getting Christmas cards with, and it had my name on it. They gave me, they attributed it to me. So, oh, Catherine's husband can write poetry. That's awesome. Does he write metrical, which is rhyming, or free verse, which is like these? I'm going to read Essential Gratitude one more time. Here we go. Sometimes it just stuns you, like an arrow flung from some angel's wing. Sometimes it hastily scribbles a list in the air. Black coffee, thick new books, your pillow's cool underside, the quirky family you married into. It is content with so little, really. Even the ink of your pen along the watery lines of your dime store notebook could be a swiftly moving prayer. Here's another one called Gratitude List, a couple gratitude poems in a row. By the way, I'm so grateful for each person who's here. Whether you speak up or are silent, you are welcome to listen to this poetry. If you like, it'll be available on replay for you to listen to again and again. Part of the reason that I read poetry on a live stream is because I love poetry so much. I am a poet, and I'm an appreciator of poetry. And if you write any kind of writing, I'm a firm believer that listening to poetry will help you to be a better writer of any kind of writing, any genre. So, okay, Laura Foley, Gratitude List. By the way, my first grade teacher was named Miss Foley. Her name was actually Mimi. But okay, Max says, Tuber Chat Source fam here. I came into YouTube trying to be a YouTuber, and I'm still coming to terms with the fact that I might just be a writer. There you go. Or someone who writes poems without calling you that. Well, you're in the right place. Welcome so much. Okay, and Dave said something that Judith is agreeing with. Oh, you love the gratitude poems. Oh, hi, Miss M. I'm glad to see you. I was wondering if you would be here. And because I can't see the screen very well, I didn't recognize you there until just now. So I apologize for not recognizing you by name. Okay, this poem is called Gratitude List. Speaking of poems that aren't a poem, praise be this morning for sleeping late. The sandy sheets, the ocean air, the midnight storm that blew its waters in. Praise be the morning swim mid-tide, the clear sands underneath our feet, the dog who leaps into the waves, their fur sticky with salt, the ball we throw again and again. Praise be the green tea with honey, the bread we dip in finest olive oil, the eggs we fry. Praise be the reeds, gold and pink in the summer light, the sand between our toes, our swimsuits flapping in the breeze. Now that is a sensory poem. I was practically on the beach for that poem. I could totally feel every minute of that experience. And I love when poems are like that. It also made me want to bring up my road trip that's coming up. I'll be leaving in 10-ish days, something like that. And one of the things I'm doing this week is I'm preparing, and I want to name my road trip something. So tomorrow on my video that is a mini road trip, kind of a prep thing. I'm doing another one this week, but I ask about what I should name it, and I give you 4 options. So if you see that video pop up and you'd like to give me a hand, check it out. You don't need to watch the whole thing, but go to the end, which is where I ask that question. Okay. Oh, cool. I'm sure I will have a wonderful trip. You'll see me because I'll be live streaming and I'll be up to my normal things. I'll be vlogging it. Kevin says, I wrote a few songs. I think it's Kevin, not Roseanne. I wrote a few songs some years ago. Not sure if the process is the same as writing a poem. Your songs are not very good. I've also written songs. I haven't written any for a long, long time, but when I was younger, I wrote songs. And I don't know if they were good, but I enjoyed writing them and I enjoyed singing them. I think, Kevin, you play bass. Do you still play bass? I used to play guitar. Maybe one of these days I'll pick it back up. But I think bass is a really cool instrument. I find myself hearing the bass line more and more. I don't know why. And yesterday I saw the movie Song Sung Blue. If you haven't seen it yet, it's really a good movie. The songwriting, I believe, is pretty similar. Since I've done both, I think they're pretty similar. Although I think that not all poets are songwriters. I think all songwriters are poets. Forgive me, poets, if that bothers you. That's just my assessment. Oh, Miss M loves music. Me too. And Dave says he's good at playing Spotify. Me too. I'm great at playing Spotify. I listen to it all the time. Oh, so you saw it, Miss M. You saw Song Sung Blue. One of the things I noticed about that movie is I forgot that Hugh Jackman was Hugh Jackman. That was probably the biggest. It's like, wow, because I'm an actor also. And sometimes I find myself saying, oh, the character that was played, like I won't remember the character, I'll remember the actor. And I always know that an actor's done a good job if I forget the actor is an actor and they're being so fully into that character. That's what I always hope that people do when they watch me. They're not just watching me portray another quirky character, because I always play quirky ones, but me being that character. Everybody's laughing at Dave. Or laughing with Dave. We can play Spotify. Okay, so I know that people might like a poem about a dog. This is a poem called The Dog Body of My Soul by Catherine Williams. The Dog Body of My Soul. Some days I feel like a retriever, racing back and forth, fetching the tired old balls the universe tosses me. Some days I'm on a leash, following someone else's route, sensing I'm supposed to be grateful. Some days I'm waiting in a darkened house, bladder insistent, not knowing when my people will return. But some days I hurl myself into the sweet, stinging surf, race wildly back, and roll in the sand's warm welcome. Sometimes poems hit you right in the heart. I was remembering I grew up with labs. My dog Ed, when I was a kid, we got him in 5th grade in Newark, in a horrible, horrible area of Newark. And my mom was petrified of Newark. But we we needed to get a dog while my dad was out of town. And anyway, the scene of some days I hurl myself into the sweet stinging surf, race wildly back and roll in the sand's warm welcome just reminded me of Ed. Ed was a typical Jordan, that's my family name, because Ed held on. I think a girl named Ed, I think she lived close to 20 years. Yeah. I'm glad to hear you all like Stevie Nicks. Hey, Tracy. I'm glad you caught it too. We're reading poetry, and I just cried, which isn't common. I mean, it's common for me to cry, but not necessarily on a live. Okay. All right, so here's a cool one by Lucille Clifton. Do any of you know Lucille Clifton? It's a short one. And a lot of the poems in this book are seasonal, which I really like. This poem is about leaves falling. So Lucille Clifton wrote The Lesson of Falling Leaves. And this is also a lesson we could all learn. The leaves believe such letting go is love. Such love is faith. Such love is grace. Such grace is God. I agree with the leaves. I love that. I'll read it again in case you missed it. I know sometimes the chat's really interesting, so I'll read it one more time. The lesson of the falling leaves. The leaves believe such letting go is love. Such love is faith. Such faith is grace. Such grace is God. I agree with the leaves. That was Lucille Clifton. And since we're in the yes, a lab, 20 years, I know. Ed, she's very stubborn. She was very stubborn. And she was so loving and so protective. And her body at the end was riddled with cancer. It was painful to see her. But she still, it's like she still wanted to go on walks. She still seemed happy. So that was tough. That was really tough. Yes, such faith is great. Such faith is grace. Okay. This is a poem about winter, since I like seasonal stuff. How about we pull out a winter one? This is by James Crews. James Crews, not like Tom Cruise's spelling, but C-R-E-W-S, James Crews. This is a poem he wrote. I appreciate all the likes I've gotten on this video, by the way. James Crews, Winter Morning. When I can no longer say thank you for this new day and the waking into it, for the cold scrape of the kitchen chair and the ticking of the space heater glowing orange as it warms the floor near my feet. I know it is because I've been fooled again by the selfish, unruly man who lives in me and believes he deserves only safety and comfort. But if I pause as I do now and watch the streetlights outside winking off one by one like old men closing their cloudy eyes, if I listen to my tired neighbors slamming car doors hard against the morning and see the steaming coffee in their mugs, kissing their chapped lips as they sip and exhale each of their worries white into the icy air around their faces, then I can remember this one life is a gift each of us was handed and told to open. Untie the bow and tear off the paper. Look inside. Be grateful for whatever you find, even if it is only the scent of a tangerine that lingers on the fingers long after you've finished peeling it. Snaps. I want to snap, snap, snap. Oh, man. That line, where is it? I know it is because I've been fooled again by the selfish, unruly man who lives in me and believes he deserves only safety and comfort. Yes, yes. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you. I know Roseanne understands that too. It's rough. It's really rough. But I do love this poem. I think that I could say that as a person. He is writing as a man, so that selfish, unruly man. I love that description. Selfish and unruly. Okay, how about The Good Life by Tracy K. Smith, former poet laureate of the United States. The Good Life. Oh, yeah. I pre-read all of these poems this time. Sometimes I don't. When some people talk about money, they speak as if it were a mysterious lover who went out to buy milk and never came back. And it makes me nostalgic for the years I lived on coffee and bread, hungry all the time, walking to work on payday like a woman journeying for water from a village without a well, then living 1 or 2 nights like everyone else on roast chicken and red wine. That's The Good Life by Tracy Smith. Okay, there's a couple Christmas poems which we will skip. I do like this one though, and it's kind of fitting for January. Lisa Kaufman wrote, "Everybody made soups." By the way, I usually go for half an hour. It's now, we've been here for 26 minutes. Let's see. Okay. Fantastic. Speaking of gratitude, Kevin tells us that Rose T-Bird is fixed and ready for pickup. We'll see you next time. Take good care, Kevin. Hugs to Roseanne. Okay. Thank you, Judith. Thank you. She has to go too, so I'm so glad that you were here for a bit, Judith, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're feeling better. So Judith put out a really great video today. I really enjoyed that. So, all right, Everybody Made Soups by Lisa Kaufman. After it all, the events of the holidays, the dinner tables passing like great ships, everybody made soups for a while. Cooked and cooked until the broth kept the story of the onion, the weeping meat. It was over. The year was spent. The new one had yet to make its demands on us. Each day lay in the dark like a folded letter. Then out of it all, we made the one final thing out of the bounty that had not always filled us. Out of the ruined cathedral carcass of the turkey, the limp celery chopped back into plenty, the fish head, the spine, out of the rejected, the passed over, never the object of love. It was as if all the pageantry had been for this. The quiet after, the simmered light, the soothing shapes our mouths made as we tasted. Sometimes people think poetry is, they think different things about poetry. I love how Max spoke about poetry, thinking that he thought he was a YouTuber, but maybe he's actually a poet. But that poem, she's describing leftovers, and she's describing it with such joy and such excitement. And she's so excited about the stuff that was passed over in previous meals. I mean, what a blessing that is. I agree. And wasn't that amazing? The lines, I love, my favorite line is, each day lay in the dark like a folded letter. Each day lay in the dark like a folded letter. This poem would have been exceptional for last week. But last week it was New Year's Day, and I didn't do a live on New Year's Day, so. Okay. Let's see. What page am I on? Okay. Okay, there doesn't need to be a poem. What page is that, Julie? my past self told me. Okay. This has a little bit of grief woven in, just to let you know before I read it. There doesn't need to be a poem. By Tess Taylor. There doesn't need to be a poem for this sadness. Simply to breathe next to a stream that slips into the gutter near your house would be enough. To see, next door in the graveyard, the brown and yellow millipede bury itself below one granite stone, joining in the work of making soil, just as now the faithful oxygen still turns the copper headstone green, oxidizing to patina despite all. By luck, your own feathered alveoli still redden blood. Your fine cell walls made oxygen for carbon and sift the windy mix we call the air. This happens, going on invisibly, even if no one remembers how, and even if it seems that pain is a volatile molecule, grief bonding unpredictably to things. Now the late sun rims a cloud. You watch that cloud. Inhale. Exhale. I really love how James Cruz puts these poems together, because that is a poem about a bird. The next poem is called Wingspan. That was written, you can tell, during the pandemic. And then Joy Harjo, another former poet laureate, wrote a poem called Eagle Poem. Hey, Em, did I read a poem by Joy Harjo before? Because I could swear I said, do y'all know Joy Harjo? But I haven't gotten to the back of this book yet. But there's Joy Harjo, who's amazing. She's a musician also. She probably writes songs. She's just incredible. Joy Harjo. She's a member of the Muskogee Creek Nation of people. She was the first Native people American poet laureate. So, I think this is the last poem. Okay, I'll read one more after this one. This one is called Eagle Poem by Joy Harjo. To pray you open your whole self to sky, to earth, to sun, to moon, to one whole voice that is you. And know there is more that you can't see, can't hear, can't know, except in moments steadily growing, and in languages that aren't always sound, but other circles of motion. Like eagle that Sunday morning over Salt River, circled in blue sky, in wind, swept our hearts clean with sacred wings. We see you. We see ourselves and know that we must take the utmost care and kindness in all things. Breathe in, knowing we are made of all this, and breathe, knowing we are truly blessed because we were born, and die soon within a true circle of motion, like eagle rounding out the morning inside us. We pray that it will be done in beauty. In beauty. Ah, hello. I am so glad to see you. Ah, I like it too, Tracy. It's beautiful. Joy Harjo. Her name, first name Joy, last name Harjo, and maybe not. I just, for some reason, I had a recollection that when I did one of these in my dining room, I seem to remember that. And she is in this book more places, so. All right, are you ready for the last poem of the day? For now, is called What Matters. What Matters by Terry Kirby Erickson. What matters? I'm saying the title again. What other people think of you, what they say, are burdens no one should carry. Lift a spoon, a cup, things that fit in your hand. Carry on a conversation, pick up a baby, Listen to the wind when it whispers, nothing else. There is no one watching you, no one straining to hear what you say. The present has arrived and you are in it. Your breath moves in and out of your lungs without anyone's help or permission. Let go of everything else. Let your life, handed to you through no effort of your own, be all the proof you need. You are loved. Hi, Isaac Betty, how are you? Listen to the wind whisper. I love this part. I'll read the last stanza and the last first line of the stanza in front of it. Actually, I'll start, it's so hard. I'll start from the three last stanzas. Are you ready? The present has arrived and you are in it. Your heart is pumping. Your breath moves in and out of your lungs without anyone's help or permission. Let go of everything else. Let your life, handed to you through no effort of your own, be all the proof you need. You are loved. I'm glad you're good, Betty. Isaac Betty. Yeah, that's great. You're good here, and the poet said you are loved, and I agree. I'd like to memorize that one. It's a pretty easy read, and because I am a performer, I'm an actor, I can read pretty easily and I can look up. So I really love that because I felt like I was speaking to each of you directly, individually. And to me, that's what poetry is. Poetry is best when it's delivered individually. Because even though it's for all of us and each of us. So it's for all people and it's for each person. Maybe that's why I love reading poetry aloud so much, because it is such a gift for each person. So I'd like to say thank you so much for being here. I will have, next Wednesday, I'm holding these scissors because I'm doing I really aim to have this poetry live on Wednesdays. And next week I'll go live at 9 p.m. I alternate 4 p.m. or 9 p.m. But I'm doing a video about writing using simple objects like scissors to inspire your writing. And there's 3 prompts that I wrote to that you could write to as well. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. It was good to see you all here. And I look forward to next week. Watch for, tomorrow, I just want to say before we all go, is it tomorrow I have a mini road trip video coming out. And at the end, I ask for your thoughts about what I should call the series. And I have 4 that I suggest, and I would love to get your votes on that. So it'd be really fun to have you all decide with me what I'd like to call it, because I consider that road trip being like all of us traveling together across the United States. So you're definitely on my mind. Tracy, thank you so much. You have a great night too. I have to reach. Here we go. Look how big my hand gets. Thanks again. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon.